Football is back, baby, and our new sponsor, True Classic, wants you to look and feel your best even after a couple of brewskis, or going full force on your fantasy football draft. Sure, it's football season, but it's also butt-to-couch season. Luckily, True Classic has the absolute best-fitting clothing a man can buy. Snug in the arms and chest with a little extra space in the torso, their t-shirts are designed to keep you cozy and highlight your best assets no matter what you're up to. So if your special someone is upset that you're watching football all day, at least you can look good doing it. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men find the perfect fit at an affordable price. Our listeners get access to the best deal they offer. For a limited time only, get 25% off with the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY at TrueClassic.com. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on skinny models with six-packs, but most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers. Fellas, you are wearing the wrong clothes. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's time to highlight your best attributes with a t-shirt you can always confidently throw on. It's about time to get your fit together, so upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic and get 25% off at TrueClassic.com with promo code BELLYUPFANTASY. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. That's 25% off at TrueClassic.com with the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY. If there's one bet you should make this football season, it's on True Classic. True Classic, look good, feel good. The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right, what is up, fam? We are back for another episode of Combat Deviants. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rochelle. On the bottom is the man, the myth, the legend, the misfit himself, Mr. Evil Eddie. And our second guest of the evening, I know it's a little kind of offset tonight, but UFC veteran, current BYB extreme bare knuckle boxer,
LFA
Andre Ewell, Mr. Highlight. How we doing this evening, my friend?
The Dragon Fist.
Boom, 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 bam. You already know.
And speaking of which, our former guest, Mr. Joshua Oxidine, just got another first-round knockout.
Hey,
another
Mr.
first-round
Preacher
knockout
Man,
for BYB Extreme tonight. There you go.
Let me tell you something. This guy up here, I've been at this guy's fights before, man. I've seen this guy before any of y'all knew this guy's name. And he's been on my show like 5 years ago. To see him now doing his thing, even on Instagram, social media, making the rounds on podcasts, killing it. Man, I'm so proud of you, bro. I really am. I'm so proud of you, man.
I appreciate you, man. It's been too long, so I owe nothing but love to you, dude. And thank you guys for having me. You already know I'm excited. Because, when your boy fell, people didn't want to pick me up, and then now your boy's on his way up, and now it's like, feeling myself. So I'm feeling great because I'm back. I'm back on the platform, and and I obviously got to give points to BYB for giving me that chance. So nothing but love to them.
Yeah, Mikey V and Dot and the boys, they doing good things. I had some troll. I posted the link up because obviously BYB's live. They have a great event going on tonight. And you got some douchebag who is literally a BKFC knobber over there. Oh, well, congratulate the 98 people in attendance for that event tonight. I'm like, does that have anything to do with anything? If you're such a BKFC nuts, why are you commenting on BYB's post about how many people are or aren't there? Why aren't you just showing love to the fighters who are fighting tonight? You freaking trolls, man.
And then you got the ones that are just putting on
with how social media is today. Like, because the people are like I'm not even gonna name person's name or who, what, where, why, or what this dude is. Just people like why do you comment on things like that? Is it just so like people like us respond and have to trash you in some way?
Got to. That's 100% got to. Like because I even have my own little troll that's like moving around. But now the thing is, I'm in like bare knuckle, so it's like, hey, you can easily just get yourself signed in, and I can go ahead and punch the shit out of you, So
we've been seeing that though.
Well, Eddie's been talking about this a lot. We think the the concept that Jason Mayhem Miller had about 10, 15
Holy
years ago needs to come back into fruition. And some of you fighters need to start knocking on some doors on some of these trolls and be like,
Right.
you run account, blah, 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 blah. You said X fighter is da-da-da. I'm like, you have the opportunity to have a 3-round match with him.
You know, come outside. It'd be just like that.
Like,
come outside.
No, give them a legit contract that they could sign, for a couple $100 or whatever like that to get them. Well, not only to get them in TV, but get them in the cage, and you get a sparring partner for a few rounds. It's a great opportunity.
Do you guys remember who was on Bully Beatdown back in the day? We had Michelle Watterson, Luke Rockhold. I mean, it was absolutely insane. But I felt so bad. There was this one guy. He was the champ for maybe King of the Cage, and he lost, and it just stuck with him forever after that. Felt so bad, bro. That's somebody you got to interview right there. But,
that's something you want to definitely bring. Yeah, that'll be a story I like to watch. Yeah, I'll tune in.
The big thing though,
I'll even ask some questions.
Well, Bully Beatdown, I was in high school, maybe middle school when that came out, and that was even bigger than the Ultimate Fighter back then. You got to thank Mayhem Miller and MTV for opening that door, not only for the cringy shows that came after it and kind of took that, adapted all the elements, but a lot of the kids my age that are now in our 30s became fans of mixed martial arts due to Bully Beatdown.
Yeah, I'm basically just one of them.
Like, I agree with Eddie where I think it was more popular than it, just because like the people who watch the Ultimate Fighters, 90% of the people were like legitimate combat sports fans, MMA fans, things of that nature. But the people who watched Bully Beatdown and came from over were your fringe fans who didn't really know what combat sports was. Is that Jason Mayhem Miller and whoever they brought in for those shows, they were introducing a whole new section of people to what combat sports was.
That is true. Like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm that 30, that 30-year-old cat type ordeal that was also watching the Bully Beatdown and was interested into it the whole nine.
Now, is that something that got you intrigued with MMA? Like, what is your background? Everyone has a reason why they get into it. I was bored. I was trying to get away from the streets. I had to find an outlet for this. What was your thing that pulled you into combat sports and made you want to be a competitor?
Well, to be honest, like most already know, that it drove me in. The fact is that growing up, I was always moving around a lot, so it was like bullies always found their way to me, and it's like I had to learn how to fight. My pops put me on that, your light skin, note this, my pops walked around looking like Mike Tyson. He was like a pure image of Mike Tyson. If you put him and Tyson together, you'll say they're either brothers or twins or doppelganger, whatever the case is, right? And so he was one of those fighters, those street fighters, one of those guys, so. And, you can't be walking around and your kid don't know how to fight, whatnot, or your kids type, So his mindset was, hey, you're light skinned. So, I know this because they pick on light skins. And on top of that, you're always moving. So it's like, you got to understand the system and how things kind of go. So it was one of those things fighting was already embedded in me. And it was one of those that I had to learn it. And it was, if I didn't learn it, I'd get my ass whipped. So at the end of the day, I had to learn fucking fast. So that's what ended up happening. So, and waiting for the Bully Beatdown, even give it out to the people that get bullied to go ahead and beat down the bullies, because I should have been perfectly on that show.
You know what? You actually, you could watch that show 20 years ago, whatever, but you recently saw a Bully Shakedown, I heard, with a mob girl. Correct? You were taking shots of some Russian liquor and hanging out with her brother. What happened here?
Yeah, to bring the story up. All right. I did see it, and walking, I promise you, and all the dang Russian drinks that they pounded me with, and the sceneries I ended up seeing, dude, it was 100%, 100% of. I don't know if you guys watched Fast and Furious 2, where there was this what was it, a club scene in the back. In the back room where they're like, hey, sit down, when people kind of, basically they're torturing the cop type ordeal, the whole rat bucket, burning up the bucket. And it was like that. And I'm over here, I'm walking, I'm like, wow, And and the Russian chick over telling me, and it's like I'm mad I didn't ended up popping in like the Russian accent, but it was so strong. Like,
Yo,
don't worry about it. It's like that. We're gonna keep going. Like, strong armed me walking by, and I'm like, oh, you guys had me in, like, you had me in a movie. I was in a movie right now. So, but yeah, so like I end up saying, you end up seeing awkward things, and I've been like across, like I come across a lot, like growing up where I'm from, type of ordeal. You see so much, and that was something that I literally walked in and walked by, so it was kind of like mad crazy.
That's one of the best stories I heard, and shout out to Ashley Evan Smith for getting that out of you. You guys can check it out on the Instagram, and that's something else I want to bring up. Your Instagram is popping, Andre. It really is. You're doing all these cameo things with music, and it's getting a lot of traction. But the one thing I want to bring up to you is I was reading one post, and the number 19 doesn't sit well with you. Why doesn't the number 19 sit well with you? What happens on the 19th usually?
19th, I guess you could say, like, my battery charges up to me being sad and whatnot. It's kind of like, it sucks. So roughly 2000 and let me see. I got in it on 2018, so 2019, 20. It's between the two. I ended up losing my my father rights. Matter of fact, it was 2019. 18 was when they let me know that I have my whole court, and my court date was basically set around the 19th through the 23rd. And that little period where my birthday's on the 21st. So the 19th was where I started to get my little awkward meltdown type of ordeal. To be honest, it kind of like knowing that I had court and knowing that they're trying to take my rights away, it basically messed up my head when I ended up fighting Nathaniel Wood, So like I come off of winning, beating, hitting Brow, and then the following fight that I was supposed to fight with Nate or Nathaniel, they hit me with that. Like, hey, we got court. They're trying to take your rights. And note this. I want you to hear this part. They don't even mail me no information. I get a phone call from my son or my son's mom's husband talking about, hey, I'm calling. I'm such and such. Dude named Trent type. He said I'm Trent. Da da da. And I was like, yeah, I know who you are. What's up? I was calling you to see if you want to give up your rights. And it was like, what do you mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like, what do you mean? Well, you haven't been around. I was like, well, clearly I haven't been around because you guys ran off with my child and disappeared with my child. And then to top it off, the courts help you do it. Because that whole time for that whole year process, I've been waiting for paperwork. And I've been going in asking for paperwork, and they never gave me paperwork because by law, you're supposed to know where your other half or, where they take your kid at all times. So meaning if you moved with my child into South Dakota, I need the address to South Dakota. They're telling me Alaska. Hey, they moved to Alaska. All right, what's the information so I'm able to fly out there or do whatever I have to do? Never gave it to me. Picture you just simply saying, or, you ask me, hey, Dre, where you live? I tell you California. Clearly, you know how big California is. Like, Alaska is pretty big. It's one of those things. You got, I don't know. So
yeah,
it's
Kashmir Riverside, right?
Yeah, there it is, Riverside. But yeah. But but the thing about it is like that, and then I get that call, so it kind of fucked me up. And then so the 19th, I ended up, or not the 19th, that was like the beginning of the meltdown of me, like all over the place. And then the 23rd, I lost my rights, and it was kind of like, all right, you guys screwed me, like And from there, it's like my, that was like my heart. Like the whole reason of me fighting was for my child,
Yeah.
And that got that robbed. But this year I got revamped up and understand what I need to do. And it's my little one right here, my little baby boy June. So I gotta make sure he's able to eat and, have the beautiful life that he deserves.
Man, and you went skydiving as well on the 19th, right?
19th last year I went skydiving, and note this, or correction, the 20th I went skydiving. The 19th I had a mini stroke. So this is the added reason why the UFC kind of let me go. That's under the water, but the real reason. But hey, it is what it is. So it got into that whole moment. I had it, I go to the doctor, they check me, hey, you had a mini, the whole thing is you gotta you're stressing, and clearly I was stressing the mess up because 2021 it was a losing streak for me, and basically it was downhill, stressing from life and stuff like that. It was outside things, trying to make everybody happy. So it kind of caught up to me, and it finally hit me really hard. And it's literally on the 19th, and then after the 19th, the 20th, I go skydiving. As soon as they cleared me, I was like, all right, I gotta do something different, because he told me I need to change. I gotta change, and I felt like, what's the best way of conquering your fears and then kind of wake up a whole branch new person type ordeal. And let me know, skydiving did mess me up. I was awkwardly tweaked out, but but it made a whole new me. And next you know it, I had to try to find something that was close to it, and it was fighting. Clearly, that gives me that adrenaline rush. But then it also followed up into the factors in snowboarding. So that's what I actually came back from today. That's why I had to push back the time, because it was time for me to hurry up and get back, and it took me a long time to get here. So once again, my apologies.
It's good. It's good. But then you make your BYB debut, right? And then it ends in 19 seconds, basically, right? So
7. They lying. My last punch was 7 seconds. They try to rob your boy. It was 7 seconds. 7 of them things. That was my last punch. That's where it actually ended. They try to do the 10 count because it's custom. You have to do it. But in reality, 7 seconds.
So how did you feel after that? I mean, the BYB thing, you got Goldie there. You got Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I mean? It's just, you got these guys in front of you. It feels so real. Then you got the triangle, and then you're ready to start the fight. 7 seconds, bro. Did you know you got him good? He's from here in Connecticut. I think he's out of Hartford. What exactly was going through your head when you saw him drop? Did you know that was going to be it right there? And did you feel happy, or did you want to keep going?
I felt happy that it did end up, short. Because, at the end of the day, if you're able to give a one punch type ordeal or finish it under 10 seconds, everybody ends up being happy, clearly, But then there's that other side, I didn't get to go ahead and put on a performance. You got to think about it. Everybody at home, I'm telling them, hey,
why don't you say that? If you knock them out 7 seconds, you put on a performance, brother.
Yeah.
The best part about that is you get in and out of there, no cuts, no damage, and you say, guess what? You feed me. Who's next?
See, you get that, right? But now you also got this other side of me that's it's the dog. It's the violence of, hey, let's keep going. Or, hey, give me somebody else. Or, it's it's that dragon that pisses, it wants to piss on that ring and let people know that it's mine type of ordeal, And that's the side. And then you got, like I said, you got the people at home where it's I'm about to put on a show, which I did. But then again, it's everybody on damn, that's 7 seconds.
It's the Conor McGregor thing. It's that was one of the most amazing
what Eagles fans are going through. Everyone's oh, you didn't face anybody. We just went to the Super Bowl. What do you mean we didn't face anybody?
That is true. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't like the Eagles. I'm just going to let y'all know.
Oh, come on, man.
And then
you know why we don't like each other, right? You know why the whole media thing started the whole thing.
In reality,
our real rival is the New York Giants. And your real rival is the Washington Commanders. That's the way it's always been. But the way the media has done started things, and obviously being divisional rivals, things happen between each other. But in reality, I always just think close proximity is always the reason why you have rivalries. But what it really is that some Cowboy fans gotten a little too bravado over the 90s, and it just continued to pound that thing away, and no one's let that go. And then now Eagles fans are listen. What have you guys done now? And now if I was a Cowboys fan, I would, if I'm a Cowboys fan, look at what's going on with your team right now, the nonsense that's coming out of Jerry's mouth. Listen, get rid of the coach, get rid of the quarterback, get rid of the running back, and retool in the next 2 to 3 years with draft picks, because Dak ain't that dude.
I get you. And Dak, right now, I'm gonna back up Dak on this one, right? So,
I'm gonna hear this one.
So why I'm backing up Dak is the fact is they're making him run a system that ain't his system. If you're forcing a quarterback to throw and he's not,
why do you think I have to get rid of the coach?
And
why do you think I have to get rid of the coach?
And which one we got done? That was Kellen Moore. Or Kellen Moore. We got rid of him. But I know a lot of people want to end up blaming the head coach that we got. But he low key, when he ran the offense, he ran the Green Bay into the Super Bowl. They won. That was him. So they're gonna end up giving out that chance. And to be honest, with him being there, I like the little risk takes that they do. You know, it's like 4th and like 3, the way that they, or 4th and 4, the way they look. He looked at the kicker and he said, "I'm good. Hey, go ahead, Dak." That's the kind of coach that I need. I'm sorry. Like, you know, I know a lot of people are like on the bumper, and I know they're on like Dak. But if you allow Dak to play the way that he needs to play, like this, Dak runs the ball, we're okay. Dak don't run the ball, or when he decides to run the ball at the wrong time, we're not okay. Like, you know, it's like one of those give or takes. And then when he tries to force, there's like literally they end up breaking down about a Dak where it was like a moment where it was an open field where he could have easily ran. This is against 49ers. He could have easily ran. Simple. Get the first down, call it easy. But back in his head, they're saying, we need you to throw. He's throwing the ball. That's the same thing like we always had the problems with our running back, like Barber. Like, I don't know if we went from Murray to Barber, the whole 9. Why Murray got his spot? Because he was playing the way he was supposed to play. The running back coach changed the way that he ran and made him play more of a power runner. We got rid of him. Barber, he was one of those movers, dancing, all that other thing. They ended up doing the same thing they did to Murray, or they did the same thing, wherever the opposite. They made him a power runner, and this is where Zeke came in, and he was all out, and basically ability of moving and everything. But then they forced him to be a solid as power runner, and then now we got such and such, like we got him right now, right? Granted, hope we hurry up, heals and we end up resigning stuff.
That was literally the end of your season was the worst case scenario for any Cowboys fan. It's like it could have not gotten any worse.
Yeah, and we go ahead and say we got cursed.
The 6 points they lost in the first quarter cost them the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
If you go back and look at it, we should have wound up playing you last weekend instead of the 49ers.
Facts.
I would have rather that way because I'm sick of hearing everyone's excuses. I really am.
Yeah, so that's where we're at.
You play who you play. Like, listen.
That is true. That is true.
I didn't see any of these guys apologize. Like, go back and look at the quarterbacks that Tom Brady had to beat on his way to the Super Bowl some of them years. And then you have Craig Carton out of there who's like, this is the easiest route to the Super Bowl any quarterback or any team is facing in the modern Super Bowl era. And I'm like, are you gonna sit there and tell me that with I think it was Jake Delhomme and Mark Brunell as like two of the guys that he had to face in one year? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like listen, like I said, what I would do is you look at what the Eagles did the last few years, right? Not to sit there saying we're like this pinnacle or anything like that, but to do what we did in the next 5 years is crazy, right?
Right.
So you go and look at it. The offense they built for Carson Wentz wasn't the offense that he needed to run. They didn't have the right weapons there. They were getting old in certain places and etc. What they did, not only through free agency and drafts and trades over the last 2 years, they've gotten young with younger contracts. When we got buried with contracts after the Super Bowl, right? True. Carson got this extension. Alshon Jeffrey got this crazy. A bunch of people got extensions that probably shouldn't got them, right? Which is you're in that situation right now, right? You have Dak getting all this money, Zeke's getting all this money. He probably should be a trade piece to go get some picks or something like that. Like I said, I would blow it up, dude.
But
I know you really want to retool it because you want to be loyal to Dak, right? I felt the same way about Carson. Like, listen, we just signed him this big. We need to stick behind. No, you know what? Eat the contract for 2 years. I promise you, it's better in the long run. With all the teams that need quarterbacks right now, I would go and fleece Tampa Bay for a couple first round trade. Tom just retired. We got a nice young Dak here.
But you got to remember this. Jerry Jones.
I know.
Is the one that got to go.
I know. And he's delusional.
Jerry ain't going nowhere.
He's delusional.
None of that. Because like this, we had a chance to get Odell. Argument's sake, people could say, hey, he was injured.
No,
whatever the
case.
case.
Contract he wanted, you wouldn't have wanted that. You wouldn't want
But
that.
Hear me out on the Odell part. People don't end up understanding because I always have the same argument with Dez Bryant, right? Because it's automatically the same thing. Just them alone on the field, that automatically ends up
I know. Look what
attracting
happened. Look
where
what
the
the
best
Eagles did
corner.
when we just got Brennan AJ Brown when we just drafted Devontae Smith the year before. We got 2 studs that are under the age of 24 years old. It's fucking insanity.
Yeah, you see, so with them just on the field, you automatically end up placing their best corner, best safety. Everything's on them, right? It opens up the field for Dak to do whatever the hell he wants to do. That's the problem of what we have. We got CD Lamb, but he's like, don't get me wrong, off the chain, right? But they're
got
okay.
no one on the other side. Gallup's a nice slot guy, but you haven't gotten your number 2 on the other side.
And then that's the thing. So now they're fading off on the 2, more on that, and then the number 2 they give a normal type of corner type of deal. So picture that Dez or Odell was over there. You're spreading out whatever the best is. Now it opens up your tight end, opens up your running back, and opens up even Zeke would have even got off of some real freaky stuff just because those 2 receivers alone, right? And then like this, I am becoming like a short tight end of ours. I'm a big fan of him. That's the only jersey I'm about to go.
You all got a defense.
purchase.
Let's be honest. You have a top 5 defense with that.
Oh yeah, hands down.
No one can argue that.
The thing is, if offense
You
can't score,
have to sign Leighton Vander Esch in the offseason. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
You have to sign him, and I'm telling you, I know you don't want to hear it. Come back and talk to me in 2 months and tell me you don't want to blow this thing up.
Hey, I do. And
but look, I'm right.
But look, right now, it's just all I'm saying is, as if we keep Dak, we can actually go. We can work around it as if they let him do his thing. Like, hey,
but
I need you to be that black running.
Is because you already said it. The offense isn't built around him. He doesn't. Yeah. Like, I know you got faith in McCarthy, and I wouldn't say not to because he's a Super Bowl winning head coach, point blank, period.
True,
but. He is with after Aaron Rodgers for last Super Bowl has looked like he has been a man lost.
I felt that, and that's because we had Kellen Moore. You feel me? Now the Chargers.
Did you see Kellen Moore's stats? Do you see the Cowboys' offensive production under Kellen Moore? Let me ask you this. So now it's Kellen Moore's fault, right? And before
I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm just saying that
before it was Jason Garrett's fault, right?
Jason Garrett was trash. I'm sorry, Jason. I like Jason.
As it was. Like, listen, I'm not going to be rah-rahing for Jason Garrett.
Okay, I'm listening because we went to the Giants. He was trash.
But it's
like
funny that Dak has a couple bad performances, and it's his fault. You starting to see this pattern?
Hey, I hear it, but look, all I know is Jason Garrett was trash. All right, he was trash. Now we got a better coach that actually plays the risk game. We just got to have something that's backing up that risk game, like that process of like I said, Kellen Moore. He literally only played, or he only has like 2 damn plays, man. It's literally 2 plays. Power ISO to the right, power ISO to the left. Hey, if you don't think the right works,
he's like Coach Boone from TC Williams. Yeah, I got 2 runs.
That's it. That's about it.
Plays. It's like, Novocaine. Just give him time. It always works.
Yeah, and it's like if it don't work with Zeke, don't worry. We'll put Pollard in, and we might get something different. And then that's what happened. That was Kellen Moore's fucking offense. And then it's like, all right.
So before we switch gears back to combat sports, who are you going with next Sunday? Are you going to break the ultimate vow and say that this Eagles team is on a magical run?
To be honest, I don't want Kansas City.
Pretty banged up, dude.
Like me being real, it's like I'm not a Kansas City fan. I can't be a Kansas City fan. Like, it's like I'm gonna be real. It's like Eagles. I prefer the Eagles to win this because.
Michael Parsons tweet, go win one for our division because the NFC East was the beast this year. Let's be honest.
Hey, no, I know, and that was the thing. And then what pissed me off every time they did the power ranking, they always had Kansas City up there, number 1 or 2. They never dropped the 3, never dropped the 4. They could have a very bad game, lose, and still be number 2/1. It was mind blowing. and Eagles were winning every goddamn game, and it was like y'all bouncing back and forth. It didn't make sense. For
most of those games, it was like 20 points or more. It was insane.
Dude, I promise you. And I'm gonna go with my Cowboys. Like we were top 3 up in there, top 4 up in there, right to the moment that we should have been sitting at 3, or we should have set at 2, but they just kept Kansas City there, and they came off
the power rank because it's like watching the Pro Bowl rank.
That's true. That is true. But it's like the principles. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the guy that likes about the principles, man. But yeah, so let's jump back on.
I'll just say it like this: I wanted you in the championship game because I just wanted the toughest route, and not just that. Let's have a repeat in 1980, just have us face it because we haven't seen each other in the championship game since 1980. It's been it's been 42 years. It's been too freaking long. This rivalry is too good of a like they're talking about NFL scripts, how it's rigged, right? If that was the case, San Francisco would have never beaten you. It would have been the Eagles and the Cowboys were in the NFC title game.
Yeah, that would
stop playing with the NFC. The NFL was rigged nonsense.
Hey, well,
and we're gonna switch gears on that note back to combat sports because did you see after all the crap that Dana's talked on the Paul brothers, he signed Logan Paul's drink company to the UFC sponsorship deal.
At the end of the day, money talks. People don't get that. Money talks everything.
I said the same thing before. Like, listen, he talked all that crap about Chris Cyborg before she was in the UFC, but when she was there, she was the baddest bitch on the planet until she got stopped.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And
until Amanda Nunes straightened her out. Chris Cyborg was when she was in the UFC was the toughest thing in the world.
That is true. Now it's the same thing with Amanda. Now she was the top until that happened, and then she came back. And
Amanda's already looking for a way out. I think that's why we've seen the way that's been promoted that way. Because Amanda's already said, like, I want to have a family, I want to walk away. So her losing the fight to Juliana meant nothing to the UFC. I think the craziest thing is what we're seeing right now, what just happened with Francis.
That's a huge talking point. And Eddie Hearn's even saying that he's trying to set up the match with Deontay Wilder and Francis right now. They're trying to set up. But the thing is here, for Francis to be able to do that is so huge. And you guys know who Tommy Toehold is, right?
Yeah.
So he just came out with a huge video. I don't know if you guys caught it on MMA On Point about the UFC and the unions and how unfair the pay is. This and that. And for Francis to be able to do that was so huge. What was your experience like, Andre, with them? Were you happy, or did you feel like, especially beating Renan Barão, man? I'll never forget that night. I was screaming, bro. I was going sick, dude. How did you feel? What was your experience like? Was it what you expected?
It is what you expected because the fact is, you're on the top of the platform, everybody's seeing you, and it's like. The way they kind of move it, it's that, hey, since we're at the top, we're at the top of the pinnacle type of ordeal, you are trading what you're worth for your face, if that makes sense. So meaning like after you leave us, you should be able to go to movies or you should be able to run your own gym, X, Y, and Z. Like they're trying to push it in that direction. And
that's not the case. They don't set you up for that.
They don't, but they're going off of the fact that since you're with us, you have the chance to do it and do it. Like,
chance. How many UFC fighters have been starred in their own movies? Someone tell me.
But those ones that haven't started, they ended up opening up their own gym or running their own like personal training and stuff like that. So it kind of like it's one of those give or take type of bullshit.
Granted, I think the only one I can sit there and honestly say it. Well, Keith Jardine did. And does still do acting and stunts and stuff like that, and does own his own gym and brain because I think Death Wish Coffee's his, right?
Not sure. Think so. Then you got Cowboy Cerrone. He's in there now.
I think it's Caveman Coffee or something.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you got T. Woodley. He was on Cobra Kai.
He was also on.
I'm trying to get on Cobra Kai. They need to put me on.
It was the last season, man. You better hurry up and hit LaRusso up, bro.
Hit up Eric Anders.
I need to be on.
No, wait. I gotta ask. Are you Team Miyagi though, or are you Cobra Kai, bro?
I'm Cobra Kai all day, baby. All day. Dragon Fist. Strike first. We ain't never last. That's how we look at it. My style of play is kill or be killed. You feel me? That is neat.
Give me one good both of you guys right now. Give me one good reason I should watch Cobra Kai.
Because it's the shit.
Let's do like this. All right, like remember I tell you like her Marvel's in this fun time right now where they're gonna tie up all the movies they've done over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, think of it in the same concept, right? That literally any storyline that you could possibly come up with all the characters that are involved in each one of the movies has that representation. Like,
and the cameos.
Like, all right, this last season you had the dude that wanted to murder him in the second movie. They almost kill each other, right? Is basically his muscle in this last season.
Wow. All right. So they're bringing back all the old people are on
everyone that can. I'm assuming we're gonna see the girl from the next Karate Kid in this final.
Hey, that would be tight if they do it that way. I would.
And the rumor is Hilary Swank is down for it.
You know, and matter of fact, I could see them doing that because since they had old girl, that makes sense. I like it,
especially because they got them girls who need some female guidance too. All of them, right?
Yep, and I need them to go ahead and pick me, Cobra Kai. I'm the mouth. I talk
Andre
a lot.
Ewell and Jaden Smith on Cobra Kai, right?
I'm with it.
Right? Wasn't Jaden Smith in a
it was but that would be what you call other world because that wasn't
yeah, that was a branch off.
That wasn't their franchise.
But it would be tight if they did bring it in. They somehow blended it, be like, hey, you know, they all trained in the same spot, or
put his music on it or something.
It doesn't match. It doesn't match. It actually doesn't, because
put some Jaden Smith music in there. You know?
Yeah. No. Karate.
No, you're trying to make that work into this world. It's not going to happen, brother.
All right. So I got something else to ask you, man. I know that you're a huge Mac Miller fan. I got two more questions here. I know you're a huge Mac Miller fan. I see it on your page a lot. What do you have to say about all these rappers that are passing away from using drugs, this and that? Like, what would you say to somebody that's going through a hard time, a struggle with addiction, like myself and millions of other people out there? Because they don't usually realize how much of an impact they're making on others, that they don't even understand the seriousness that they can relate to others. A lot of us feel so alone. Fighters feel so alone a lot of the time. So we don't realize how we really have so much help within one another. And we always feel like we're on our own. So what would you say to somebody right now that does feel all alone?
Well, you're not alone. I'll start that. Like, I had my little moments, and I promise you, and I continue to have them. Like, I've been like awkwardly stressing through so much to the moment I've been like losing weight and not eating or forgetting to eat, like, which I'm gonna have to eat because I only ate donuts today, you know. but no, you got to end up figuring out or understanding what works, you know, what works for you. And I know a lot of people will say, well, drugs this or drugs that, or me stress, or, you know, me hitting the bag. Like, I'm not gonna lie, so much awkward pain that been going through my head that you know, like my heart just not able to take certain things, you know. But I end up figuring it out, like when I go to the gym and train and being around other people that also I know that also been through the same struggle or going through the struggle, and I'm able to sit there and talk to them, you know. That's where it comes down. It's like you're not alone because there's other people that actually go through it or deal with it. Basically figure out and find out what is your light. My light, come here. About to say, my light. You guys, don't mind the hair. Don't mind the hair. But yeah, June is my light, right? And granted that he's been my light the whole beginning of everything, but sometimes you get lost in the pain or lost in, you know, that whole darkness that ends up covering you and trying to figure it out. And then you end up sitting back and understand this is the person that's actually looking up to you and trying to sit there and see how things move or function and everything, you know? And one day I was like literally in pain, and I looked, you know, matter of fact, this literally happened a week ago. In pain, I'm like angry, pissed off. My boy goes, let it go. I said, huh? Let it go. And he walks out. He walks out the room. And it was one of those, as soon as he said it, it kind of like, it's like I said, it's like certain things, ends up
We
hitting
build nests
differently.
in our head of all these
Yeah,
negative things, and it makes us nest,
Yeah, and then he hits it and just like let it go, and it's like, why does my child tell me to let it go? And it's like, well, he is seeing me through all this stuff, and it's like that's what happened, So this is the light. This is what I mean. You got to end up figuring out and finding your light, or what makes you go or wake up, because everybody wakes up in the morning. Granted, as in everybody has their own. You don't know if you're gonna wake up happy, mad, or sad, but if you got that light, it lets you end up pushing. Because like most people, like with awkward breakups, right? They'll end up getting a breakup. I can't live without her or live without him or wherever the case is, right? You can't live. But the next day comes up. You're still alive. Then the following day comes up. Guess what? You're still alive. And you're still working, still doing whatever the heck you're doing to constantly keep moving. And then you're trying to realize what is what. But when you end up saying it's too dark, it's cool. You can end up, figuring it out and basically take a step forward.
Wow.
And get right.
So Andre, that's like the script and the plot of the movie Hook with Robin Williams, man. He has to remember that he's not this old beat up lawyer and washed up father, that he was Peter Pan at one point, and he has to remember how to fly. And how does he remember how to fly? He has to figure out what his happy thought was. And once he figures out what his happy thought was, he found himself, right? So I think you nailed that right on the head right there, Andre.
Boom. That's why they call me Dragon Fist, because I land, baby.
Right. So
with these hands.
My next one for you, predictions, man. We got some predictions here before we let you go. We have Volk and Islam Makhachev moving up a weight class, 145. Does Volk do it? How do you see this one going down?
I'm going with Volk, baby. And, and I'm going to go because he's that rugby mental. He has that rugby mentality that's going to stick with him forever, that he's just not going to let this guy out wrestle him, put him down or anything. I don't even see him getting taken down. And if he does, he's getting right back up. You feel me? And I see him probably, I don't want to say finishing him, but 5th round, all 5 rounds, he gets a decision. I say 3-2. 3-2 rounds. Close, but I'm with Volk with it.
It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. Our last guest actually went with Islam on it, but let's ask you this one right here. Alex Pereira in the rematch versus Israel Adesanya. Who do we got for this one?
I think fourth time is the charm, baby. So I'll go with Israel with this one. Because, let's hands down. At the end of the day, between them, Israel's winning rounds. It's just that, he, like argument's sake of in the street thing, it's like they both walked into a bathroom, just those two, but they walked back out 10 minutes later, right? Israel has no wounds on him. My man's got, he's like knotted up. Clearly, you're going to be like, Israel won this. But not knowing that Israel got knocked out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But
by the Russian mob, too.
Yeah, he was only like 2 minutes away from winning that fight.
Yeah.
So
I like what Trevor was sitting there saying earlier. If Izzy stop playing, I have a bigger dick than you in the striking category. He'd probably still be the champion right now.
That is true. And then to be honest, after he got hurt, if he would have tried to take him down or like clinched him, he would have been okay and won the fight. But at the end of the day, I think he learns his lessons. That's one thing about Israel. He gets better,
He definitely does. He learned. He's not one of these fighters. He's not going to make the same mistake twice.
That's that part. Granted that he did.
Like, all right, you got me, but that ain't gonna happen again.
It got later in the rounds. He just.
I mean, he still has like one of the greatest video clips ever of him standing in the corner, sitting there saying, "I'm ready to die" as he's about to come out.
That is true.
Like, he's one of those guys that he's gonna give you every inch of every ounce of what he got. But one more before I let it go before we wrap it up. I asked Trevor this. I want to ask you it. We got. I know you're in BYB, but Bare Knuckle got a big card coming up, and the big hype fight they have is former Bellator fighter Mike Richmond is going to be challenging their champion Lorenzo Hunt, and they've been going at it inside rings, outside of rings, at press conferences, falling off stages. This has been utter madness between these two guys. What are your thoughts on that fight, or how do you think that thing's gonna play out if you've been paying attention to it at all?
No, I have, and I think Hunt comes in with the knockout. You know, ain't no other champ unless he says there's another champ. You feel me? Yeah.
I like Hunt. Definitely like, you know, he's definitely one of those nasty guys. He definitely belongs in BKFC. You know, he's got power in his hands. I've always been a fan of Richmond. Definitely love what he's done to kind of recreate his post MMA career.
Yeah.
The question is we know the Marine's tough, man. We know Mike's tough. We know he's got a chin, but can he land that on Hunt? That's the only question I really have. If he's able to do that, oh boy, are we gonna be in for a night.
Yeah, and that's something I honestly can't wait to watch. Actually, they're going to have me tune in on that one, so that one's going to be that little live.
The question is if Mike can get inside, Zoe's you know, Zoe's little game. Oh man, we could see some fun in the booth type stuff, you know.
Yeah, and that's on something. That's like I said, I like that the booth stuff. People don't end up getting it. It's like I like to exchange, and most people be like, stop exchanging. It's like stuff like that. That's excitement. That's violence. That's beauty. People end up understanding that's art, and that's something that I love, and it's like something I like to end up giving. Because at the end of the day, my style is a crowd pleaser.
Beautiful destruction, they call
Yes,
it.
sir.
Beautiful
Yes, sir.
destruction. With that being said, what we usually like to do at this point in the interview is hand the imaginary microphone over to you. If you have any shout outs, any social media links, sponsors, upcoming events, anything at all, the floor is now all ears.
All right, well, hands down, I'm gonna end up shouting out Fight Night Customs. You know, that's a super team. They, my boy Rubio, end up putting things together and make things magical. Clearly, my baby boy Junie, you know, he's over magical. He keeps things life. You know, he ain't smiling right now because he's supposed to be giving you guys the mad dog face.
Yeah.
That's the death stare. You know, and then I ended up shouting out Dynasty MMA. They ended up sending me like a whole care package right now, and I'm like excited to open it, so I'm like happy about that, and basically the team, Team Ewell, that's everybody that's been part of the squad, and constantly keep pushing it, like my lady, hands down, we got my whole family, everything that's honestly like keeping me alive, and then clearly BYB for keeping me relevant in this life and giving me that chance, so nothing but love to them, and clear you guys, you feel me? Combat. You feel me? Thank you for having me.
I definitely appreciate the love over here. I know Eddie. Like I told you, as we got on here, Eddie was pumped as soon as I dropped your name. He was like, "What?" He fucking lost it, yo. I was like, "All right." And we're always gonna be having fun interviews over here. And anytime you want to hop on, talk about something, you want to get something off of your chest. Hell, you want to rant some football with me, man. You're always welcome to kick it on here. Not only here on Combat Deviants, same goes for everyone over here at Belly Up Sports. We're always looking to have some fun. I don't even know if Eddie got a chance to tell you, we're getting ready to launch a card grading / hobby show with Belly Up Sports. So we finna have some fun over here.
Nice. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. Big things moving up. Now they're gonna be calling y'all Big Dick Willie. You feel me? Go ahead.
All right, Dre. Appreciate your time this afternoon. We're gonna let you go. I can see daughter said I had enough. It's daddy time. So
yeah, it's daddy time.
Have a good one, my friend. Best of skill. We'll definitely be in touch in the future. Have a good one, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. Say bye.
Anytime. Bye. That was too much.
Oh man, BBJ.
That was our final guest for the second half of our episode tonight. Andre Ewell, and he had his little monster with him, and we definitely gotta appreciate the love that he gave us tonight. Appreciate his time. Definitely looking forward to what he's got coming up. Hopefully, we can see him get another good fun matchup in BYB. Who
they got it going on over there right now, man.
Hey, man, you don't know, man. Like when when he tells you like you see you've never been a dad, you've never been in one of those situations where you haven't been able to have your kid around you, having someone.
Hey, I got my rats, bro.
Rats might be easier to deal with because it's way less stress. As crazy as your rats are, like, you know, when you have another person manipulating a situation, you can't underestimate how that affects just everything on a daily basis. Like, he second questioning everything, second guessing, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? What is my kid gonna think about this? What is he or she telling my kid about? Like, you don't know, and it just drives you mad. So I can imagine him just not being focused at that point in time in his UFC career and having those issues. Obviously, as he was sitting there saying, some medical issues kind of also played into that. So definitely something to keep our eye on, because as you always know, as it always will be here on Combat Deviants, here between me and you two, it will always be 210% athletes first. I don't care. Like, I will tell a fighter, like, listen, he can be mad at me, he can block me, he can tell me I'm a POS. I will care about your well-being over what you feel like. I know a lot of people feel this is how they make money. This is how they want to provide for themselves, their family, for their futures. But sometimes there gets to a point where someone has to say, this is the end. This is how it has to be.
Or just take a break and not put yourself in those situations where you gotta work.
Yeah.
It's sad, man.
Appreciate the love, my friend. Appreciate you hopping on tonight. I already told you. We're gonna have some fun stuff for our Eagles fans lining up. Appreciate the new subscribers. We're working on a big one. When I'm working on something for not only Belly Up when we hit 1K on here on the YouTube channel, but all our people who have been supporting us up until this point. You won't be forgetting to. I'm kind of noting some names down, putting some. Hey,
we got giveaways too.
So we're gonna be we're having a nice little big giveaway when we hit 1K, and then we'll also get some for our supporters. So Miss Bird Gang, appreciate the love. Make sure you guys are staying tuned in with all our programming. There's going to be some fun stuff leading up to the Super Bowl that some of our other on-air personalities are going to be getting into. I know they're going to be doing a pre-Super Bowl party. Who knows? Maybe me and Eddie come up with something for the Super Bowl itself. You never know what we're going to be coming up with.
Only on OnlyFans.
Here you go. Only with your OnlyFans.
I'm crazy.
Yes. Look forward to it. Appreciate the love, my friend. We're getting ready to sign off for tonight. This was kind of episode 2A.
Also, guys, go check out our Roberto Duran Jr.
Oh, man, that was a fun one.
Episode. It will be right below this one. So check that out as soon as you wrap this one up here.
Make sure you're checking out the Roberto Duran interview. Make sure you're showing love to both of our guests tonight. Both Trevor and Andre. Definitely fun stories. Definitely unique things to learn from each of them. Oh, definitely. I'm always going to be in Andre's corner, knowing that fight he's going through. He's got me for sure. I know Eddie was already hyped to him, and hey, don't worry about that.
Hey, I never got to see
that. I definitely
either.
Don't fault you on that. I did the same thing with my son last night. As soon as I heard that Black Panther Forever was hitting Disney Plus, had to get the marathon in, get caught up. Anyone who hasn't seen it, obviously Marvel has owes me some money over some tissue boxes over the last few years because they know how to pull them heartstrings lately, man. If you're invested into the Black Panther franchise, it's definitely I'm telling you. You're
saying
gonna have
The
tears
Rock
at
is
some
out
point.
on Disney
If you
Plus?
don't, you're a heartless human being. I promise. I mean, just how Chad. Obviously they find a way to honor it, through their own unique way.
Oh, all right.
They did certain ways with certain points of it, how they created the origin, who he's supposed to be with, and things of that nature, which was different from the comics. People weren't initially happy with it, and I think how they're giving themselves a chance now allows this to play out the way it's going to, and then you'll get the comic book accurate version of what his social life was supposed to be, I guess. Because I guess they're going to give us another chance of a T'Challa. Yes,
I gotta go check all of that out.
Yeah, make sure you check the post-credit scenes. Are very
even
important.
Cobra Kai, I gotta go check out.
But
yeah.
again, appreciate all our Combat Deviants fans. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight. Like again, double duty with the offsetting interviews tonight. We'll try to get everything on track for next week. I got another fun one for you guys. Eddie was already chomping at the bit for this one.
Bucket list.
He has been involved in all different parts of combat sports, from being on our TV screen, not just in big fights, but in other ways as well. You will figure it out as the week progresses. I'm not gonna drop this one. I'm gonna hold this one a little close to the chest. We should have a pre-recorded interview with another BKFC athlete who has an upcoming fight over the next few weeks. They have so many damn cards popping off over the next month. Have fun trying to guess who it is. But appreciate everyone hopping on tonight. Appreciate all the comments, Facebook, YouTube, IG, everyone showing us some love. And keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep showing us love. Once we hit those goals, we're gonna be spoiling a lot of our supporters. Not just me, not just Mike, Blaine, and the guys over at Belly Up. I know Eddie's got some stingers in the works. Some of the people who we've been networking with are going to be working on some fun stuff as well. Keep you guys posted. Make sure you guys are giving the new show that we're about to launch at some point in the next month or so. Hardcore Hobby Talk will be launching in correlation with the Grading Authority and Mark over there and them guys. It's going to be a really fun show, especially for you hobby collectors. So guys, make sure you're locked in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that notification bell to stay up to date on everything we're doing. Other than that, guys, I don't know how else to end this one, but peace out. We will see you guys next week at some point in time. I'm